So I got this email from one of our RotarySwing.com members, and he's like, hey, got this stuff that I'm using with some of my students, and Charlie Reimer's using it, and he's raving about it, saying how much it's helping his body feel better from his golf swing and all this stuff, and said, hey, you should take a look at this. This might be something your members are interested in. And quite honestly, I almost hit delete because I get stuff sent like this every single week. Training aids galore, all this stuff is always coming through our inbox, and honestly most of them are just junk, and I never ever put anything on the site that I haven't personally tested. So for me, when I got this email, I was like, gosh, it's another one of these things that I don't want to be bothered with. But he's a member, and I'm like, oh, let me at least take a look and see what it's all about. So I said, all right, I'll look into it. So put it on the back burner. Got back to him a couple of days later after I'd looked into it, and what I'd found was that Andy Sutton, the former NHL hockey player who'd spent 16 years in the NHL, was the guy behind this company. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. How did this whole story come about? So I looked into it, and Andy, first of all, to have a 16-year career in professional hockey is insane. I mean, this guy was taking some punishing hits and giving out some punishing hits, and so I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. He actually started using this stuff for himself to try and extend his career. And he found that it did an unbelievable job in helping him feel better, getting rid of joints, getting rid of inflammation. And he actually liked it so much that he bought the stinking company. And I was like, that's a pretty big testimonial. If somebody liked something that helped them so much that they bought the company. I said, all right, you've at least got your foot in the door. I'll at least take a look at it. So I sent Andy an email and said, all right, go ahead and send me some stuff. I'll try it. And, quite honestly, I don't have any faith in it, but I'll try it. So I took it. I told Andy I was going to punish my body and see, what it would really do, because I don't, it's not just golf for me. I'm climbing, I'm biking, I'm hiking, I'm doing all kinds of different things, and I'm always putting my body through a lot of stress and constantly having these aches and pains. And now that I'm approaching my mid-40s and I've had numerous surgeries and numerous injuries, and many of you guys know the worst one was my neck. I broke my neck in 5 places, had a C1 burst fracture, 4 surgeries, all kinds of bad stuff. And so I have countless recurring issues from that. As you can imagine, nerve damage, all kinds of stuff. So my body is just constantly always in perpetual pain. And the golf swing stuff, thankfully, Rotary Swing, the model has totally made it so I can play golf and not just be in wretched pain all the time. So for the golf swing stuff, doesn't bother my body, but all the other stuff I do is putting my body through a lot. But I know most golfers out there, especially as they're learning something or have a bad faulty movement pattern, their body just aches after golf. And so that's why Andy wanted me to try this out. And I said, all right, I'm going to try it out, but I'm extremely skeptical, to put it politely, and I'm going to really put it through the ringer. So I have this local ice climbing route that I do, and I normally do about 4 laps on 4 routes, and I'm done. I'm completely cooked. I got to go home. The day is done, and I'm a vegetable the rest of the day and half of the next day. I just know it's such a whole body workout, super strenuous, and so I know exactly what my body's going to feel like doing this. I do this every single week, at least once a week. So I said, all right, I'm going to go and do this exact same route that I do every single week, and I'm going to do 4 laps and see how I feel. So I followed the instructions. I took the stuff for 4 days, and I went out and I ice climbed. I took a buddy with me, and I did about 6 laps that day. Really kind of overdid it a little bit, just to really put this stuff through the ringer. And I'd only been on the stuff for 4 days, so I didn't really expect a whole lot. And I went home, and this was still pretty early in the day. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I lived on the side of the ski resort at Telluride, and I'm like, I feel kind of pretty good. Like, maybe I'll go snowboarding the rest of the day. So I called my buddy who I just went ice climbing with. I said, hey, you want to go up on the mountain? Like, I feel pretty good. I thought I was going to have to go home and go to sleep after doing 6 laps up there, but I feel good. So he's like, yeah, for sure. So we went up and snowboarded the next couple hours, and then went out to dinner that night and felt great. And I was like, this is really weird. There's no way something like this could work this fast. So I'm still skeptical, but I'm going to send Andy an email because this is pretty wild stuff. So I sent Andy an email the next day. I said, hey, here's exactly what I did. Here's what I normally can do. And this is way beyond that. Is this normal? Or is this a placebo effect? Or is this the stuff doing something that I didn't expect? And he said, yeah, well, your inflammation is lower. Your body is spending less time and less energy fighting all this inflammation that you create by doing all these things that are activities, swinging a golf club, climbing, whatever it may be. And when your body's not fighting inflammation, it's way, way happier. There's way much energy to go into repairing cells and all these things, and you just feel better. And I'm like, all right, sure, whatever, Andy. Honestly, I still don't totally buy it, but that's a pretty wild deal. But let me go ahead and do some more stuff. So I said, all right, next week I'm going to go to Moab, and I'm going to go hike, and I'm going to do 10 miles a day. And I'm just going to hammer my body. Normally, my knees would be done, my feet would be done. I've got scoliosis from my neck injury because my neck fused crooked and all this crazy stuff. So hiking for me is like super punishing, and I don't even like it that much, to be honest. But I know exactly how I feel after hiking. So I go and I do 10 miles a day and felt great. I couldn't believe it. So again, I'm still trying to find every possible negative thing, like just blow this out of the water and say, look, thanks for sending this to me, guys, but it's not for my members. I'm sorry. So hammer my body, I still feel great. Do it another day. Just hammer my body, feel great. Go rock climbing the next day, feel great. I'm starting to kind of wonder, like, is this stuff really this good, or am I trying to make it feel good or something? And I was hammering my body, and I know exactly how I feel after I do those things. I felt great. So now I'm starting to wonder, like, all right, maybe this stuff is really legit. Obviously, Andy invested a ton of money into buying the company and all this stuff, so he obviously believes in it, but still skeptical. So my buddy Bill, he has a really bad knee injury that he hurt himself skiing this year, and it's basically incapacitated him. He thought he was going to have surgery, thought he blew out his ACL. It's just constant knee pain, walking, he hobbles, it's terrible. And I said, Bill, I'm going to give you a bottle of this stuff that these guys gave me. I'm skeptical. Here's what it's done for me. I'm still trying it out, but it's really helping. But I want you to do it too. I want to see what you think of it, because I know that you've got a legit serious injury that's recent. You've got tons of inflammation, and you're super active outdoors like I am. I want to see how you feel on it. So I gave it to Bill. He started taking it, followed the instructions, did exactly what they said. And about 2 weeks into it, I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, how's your knee feel? He's like, you're not going to believe this. Like, I'm hammering my body biking, I'm hammering my body hiking, and it feels amazing. Like, I thought I was going to have surgery. This stuff is really working. And I'm like, all right, now there seems to be something to this stuff. I can't explain it. I looked into all the ingredients, and I understand how they all work, but normally this type of supplement stuff is just kind of garbage, to be honest. Glucosamine and chondroitin and stuff's been out forever for joints and cartilage and those types of things, but this stuff is actually working. So I've been on it for 2 months now, and then I really wanted to keep testing it. So I said, hey, I'm going to not take it with me on a trip, and then I'm going to go hammer my body and see what happens. And so I did. So this time I went to Moab again, did a bunch of rock climbing, a bunch of hiking, same stuff all over again, and I didn't bring it with me. One is because I goofed up and I thought it had to be refrigerated the whole time, and I was staying in a hotel. So I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be a problem because I don't have a way to refrigerate it. And the other way is, like, I'm glad I forgot it because I really want to see what happens. I felt like crap. I couldn't hike. I couldn't bike. I mean, I could do those things, but I felt like crap afterwards. Just wanted to go home, go back to the hotel, go to sleep, and rest. Get in the hot tub, something to help me feel better like I was before. I couldn't wait to get back home and start taking this stuff again. So I started doubling up on my doses as soon as I got home, just to try and help flush everything out again. And it worked. So now, for the first time, I'm actually a believer. I have to admit, I can't have put my body through any more stress than I've put it through in the last 2 months. And I said, all right, this stuff really works. So for the first time, I'm going to offer JOMO to my members, because if you're working on your golf swing, if you're doing a bunch of drills, if you've got soreness, you've got tightness, or you're doing other things outdoors, this stuff has made a huge impact on my life. And I hate to even say that because it sounds kind of cliche, but I'm able to go out and do things that I couldn't do before. I'm able to go much longer, much harder, push my body like when I was 25 or 30 again, not like how I feel when I'm in my 40s and after all these surgeries and all the scar tissue, all this damage. I feel younger. is the simple truth of it. So for me, this has rolled the clock back like 10, maybe 15 years for me, which is huge. And I hope for my members out there who are getting in their 50s, 60s, 70s, are still out there experiencing these aches and pains. I can't wait to hear their stories, because I've seen how dramatic mine has been. And I tried everything in the book to not like this stuff. I literally did not want to put it on the site, but it works. So yeah, that's my story with JOMO, and I love it. I'm sticking with it.